TJ's backyard sounds like a wildlife preserve or something. It's like a kookaburra back there or some shit. Oh. I don't know, man. Do it what? Good morning. Yes, hello. If it isn't my favorite salacious, fallacious, what? Cam show? Damn. Is that how you perceive me? Cam show? Good morning, it's noon. Man, when will morning people realize that there are those of us for whom noon is morning, just like 7 a.m. is morning for them? The same amount of sleep was had, the same transaction was made, the same type of bed was slept in, and yet it just seems eternally flabbergasting to some people that, like, some of us get up later, some of us stay up later. Whatever. The most northern place I've lived was Seattle. It's a beautiful day, yet you choose to look at your little screen. Your life will pass, missing reality. You're right. It's actually not that beautiful of a day, though. It's cold and overcast and probably going to piss on us. So, but I see your point. You look dressed to wreak havoc. I don't mean to be. I'm just dressed in a jacket because I'm here in TJ's backyard waiting for TJ to be awake and waiting for Scotty to get here so we can do a show. Does it snow in Louisiana? It does. Yes, it does. Not a whole lot, but it do. Ready to rob a bank. Yeah, this doesn't... Dude, you don't dress like this to go do something horrible and then try and get away with it. Like, you're gonna be found. Does TJ know you're at his house? Yes. I told him I was gonna cruise by here around this time and chill on the porch until he got up. So yeah, he knows I'm here. But even if he didn't, like, what's gonna happen? Is TJ gonna run out here with a gun and drill me with it? What's the weather like there? Snow here. It's just cold here. Cold, and it looks like it's gonna piss on us later. He'll sway you away with boredom. That's less bank robbing and more store shooting attire. What? Do you time to time get the bad feeling, kind of guilt of missing the reality, lol, because the way you answered seemed like it? What? No, what? Who? Get out of here. TJ would attack you with a banana, not a gun. Oh. Would he fire it out of his ass? Like if he was threatened, would he like bend over and fire a banana real quick at his attacker? Is that his defense mechanism? A banana and a gush of flaming hot oil comes out of his ass. Oh man, dude. Sometimes having a really vivid imagination is a curse, dude. Because, like, I picture the whole shit. I see it like it's happening in front of me, man. Like it's happening in front of me. The banana would come out fried. He's just got like a banana eternally frying in his colon with like a gallon of hot oil in there. he's a bombardier beetle. Oh man, what a way to start the day, man. I can't wait till TJ's awake so I can call him a fucking bombardier beetle, dude. That's the roast of the century, dude. The roast of the cinch. DFF equals George W. Bush. Why? I don't want to. No, I don't want to. Don't start the DFF equals train, please. Let's not start it this morning. Okay. I can't do it. I can't do it. Is Cheejay now the least fat of the DFF crew? I don't know. I'll have to hop on the scale, I guess. Can we have story time with Paul? I don't remember the ending to your bringing weed to Texas story. No. Thanks for the $5, but no, I'm not just going to eternally retell the same stories over and over again. Until I get a little older. You know? Like when I'm like 60 or something, I'll be just, you guys will have to put up with it constantly. Because that's what old men do, you know. They get about that age and they just tell you the same story every time they see you. You guys will get to put up with that shit. So tomorrow, get out of here, Carmelo. Shoo, Carmelo. I'm 39. I don't want to be 60. Yeah, I'm 38. When are we getting DFF shirts? Oh. Do you think you'll be doing YouTube at 60? I hope YouTube doesn't exist by the time I'm 60. I hope this horrible, blighted, backwards shithole of a fucking website collapses under the weight of its own hypocrisy before then. Hope Wojcicki runs it right into the fucking ground. I'm turning 30 at the end of the month. Hey, look at you. Didn't you say you won't live to be 50 a few streams ago? I don't know. Maybe. It sounds like something I'd say. Maybe Elon Musk will buy Google by then. Yeah, maybe. Got to see a 40th anniversary showing of Alien the other night. It was fucking awesome. That's cool, man. You went to like a special showing or whatever. Yeah, that's really neat. I like going to those. I don't get to go very often because there's not very many theaters around here that do it, but every once in a while you'll see them advertising. Like, I think the last one I went and saw was the Dark Crystal. They were doing like a 30th year or 40th year anniversary for that. I got to see 2001: A Space Odyssey too. That's nice. That's nice, bro. Such a politician. What? Man. Did I forget that the morning crew is just a bunch of nonsensical shitheels? I always thought that the morning crew was alright, but I guess not. I guess the morning crew is a bunch of shitheels. Because of how depressing Alien 3 is, it casts a shadow on the first two Alien movies, not to me. Seeing as you're repping Nirvana on your chest, and forgive me if you've said this before, what song do you believe is most indicative of them? Most indicative of Nirvana? I don't know, man. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to answer that, my friend. That one's a mystery to me. Well, well, well. Good morning, TJ. How you doing?
You streaming?
Yeah. Just hanging out here with a bunch of
You faggots.
reprehensible pieces of shit. They deserve that. Usually I'd admonish you for being rude to these people, but this morning, indicative doesn't mean best.
Indicative means best.
That's what somebody just said. Somebody asked me, what song do you feel is most indicative of Nirvana? And I was like, I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah, indicative doesn't mean best.
Yeah.
I mean, just take the word apart in your mind, people.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, I get...
It's related to the word indicate,
Right.
you know? So,
I would guess their most recognizable song would be their most indicative song.
I guess, yeah. This song is indicative of Nirvana's trademark style, so
Right, so
you can do something like that.
probably...
Even then, I think the wording's kind of clumsy.
Yeah.
Whatever. I just don't know if indicative really works there, but I guess you can kind of force it in.
What's the most Nirvana-ist Nirvana song? Rape Me, probably. That's probably about as Nirvana as they got. Say Annabelle. Annabelle. There you go.
Satisfied.
I hope so, because
That's so rich and rewarding to say that.
maybe he's like... You ever seen that movie Sneakers
No.
with Robert Redford? They do this whole bit. It's one of those awkward 90s techno movies where it's like, it's on the cusp of the computer revolution and shit. So there's a lot of, kind of weird technology. And one of them is they're trying to break into this dude's office and it has like a voice identification lock on it. And so they have to get him to say a certain number of words. He has to say, "Hi, my name is such and such, verify me." So they've got to get him saying each one of those words on tape. So they send one of their agents and a chick to sit down on a date with him and get all the words. I don't know why it reminded me of that.
They're trying to composite you. That's like one of the words they're missing from their like Paul program.
Yeah. They're trying to get access to my bank account or something, and they need me to say certain words. Did you see the clip of Tucker Carlson praising Andrew Yang during the interview on his show? No, I didn't. Just take a jiu-jitsu class and film it. It's just wrestling. Basically, it would be entertaining. No. Why don't you take a jiu-jitsu class and film it, you fucking asshole?
Fucking Jews and their jitsu.
It's the most Manson Nirvana song.
The most Manson Nirvana song.
Rape Me.
Rape me.
Big rape.
Should I go? I can see it.
Yeah, I could see Manson covering Rape Me. The answer to every Nirvana question I'm asked is going to be Rape Me today. I'm just letting you know. Something in the Way. I mean, Manson could cover any Nirvana song and it would be pretty cool, but I don't think Something in the Way
maybe the
is.
stuff from like the earlier, Bleach would probably be like
Yeah,
best.
yeah,
Maybe,
like
Blue or something.
yeah, Love Buzz. That'd be cool.
But
Can you feel my love buzz?
Vocal styles are not that different, really. They both kind of use.
Their melodic style is not different. Their vocal style. I mean, they're
They
at the
both
high
They
end.
both kind of use that like throaty sort of singing, though.
Their screams are similar. I'll give you that much. You ever find good new music?
Put the totality of like their character in their voice. Like Kurt Cobain's one of them. Manson's one of them. Like
See, singers like that can't help but put that
Tom Waits
totality into the voice. They got that distinctive thing, and they've got that
yeah.
absolutely no filter stopping them from making any face they need to make the noises they make and shit. Like, a lot of people are too self-conscious to let go like that.
Yeah, that's
like if you watch Tom Waits sing, he looks like he's taking a shit.
Yeah, because he'll contort his face in any way that needs to be.
Right.
Get whatever sound he wants.
Somebody just gave me $99.
Jesus. Cool.
Thank you. Thanks for the $99.
99 souls.
99 souls. Let's say, what's up, Paul? Remember me? You still play Elite? They added a shitload of new ships. It's easier to make credits. Anyway, tell TJ and Scotty and yourself that you guys are awesome and DFF is getting great. The more you guys update the format. Have a good day, bud. Hey, thanks, Finn. Thanks, buddy. That's nice of you. What a nice fella. Is tailoring my sleep schedule around when you commonly do Highdeology is a bad idea? Yes, because I commonly do Highdeologies at literally every hour of the day. So, I wouldn't advise it. My sleep schedule is a goddamn nightmare. It's a goddamn nightmare.
I just don't have one.
I do. It's just a constantly evolving nightmare. Yeah. Take more for being awesome. Hey, thanks, bro.
There's just no rhyme or reason.
What a guy. Just sync up with Paul's. Yeah, you don't want to do that. If you synced up with my sleep schedule 3 or 4 days a week, you'd get 2 hours of sleep. You want that? That sound good to you? One of the things I like about getting old, though, is that I feel like I don't need that sleep as much anymore. Like, like today, I didn't sleep a whole lot last night.
I think old people get it right, because people are always like, man, old people are always sleeping, but they're really not. It's just that they just nap.
Yeah.
It's like they never really, I guess sometimes, but, like, a lot of times, like, you hang around an old person, they don't really, like, sleep the, 8 hours. They just kind of like, I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
Take a nap for, an hour. I'm awake again.
Yeah. I'm starting to feel that creeping into my life. Because, 1 or 2 hours of sleep, and I'll just, bounce awake sometimes. Like, I'll go to bed, 2 hours later, I'll just, bling, and I'll be like, okay. Got all this energy, my brain's wide the fuck awake.
Usually I'll wake up and I'll be kind of bleary, and I'll go on Twitter and I'll see something that'll piss me off, and I'll be like, all right, now I'm awake officially.
Right.
Because I'm pissed by something going on. I just have to resist the urge to respond. Because when I first wake up, it's just like, God damn this shit. I'll say something stupid.
Yeah.
Like I saw this chick, she was all mad because some Arthur C. Clarke book from a million years ago described women's breasts in a sexualized way, and I was just like, God damn you fucking... So I almost was like...
Almost lost it.
Yeah, I was almost like, only real problem with tits is they're often attached to vacuous cunts like you!
Jesus.
Like, wait a minute.
Morning, TJ.
Don't do this, TJ.
Keep my money or I'll cry. I will. It's in my pocket right now. Safekeeping.
Then there was all these people outraged because, I guess there was some, high school party somewhere that set up, a swastika made of Dixie cups to play, Nazi beer pong or something. mom's mad.
Wow.
The Jews.
Oh man, people are just fucking bored, I think, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Can't blame 'em.
I don't understand it, honestly. We live in the time where we have the least amount of excuse to ever be bored. And yet we seem more bored than ever.
Yep. It's because we're oversaturated.
Take my money before I lose it. Okay, fine. God. My pockets are starting to get full, but I'll stuff your money in there too.
Salvador.
Anybody else want me to hold their money?
Sal.
I'd be happy to.
You want to come inside? You want to hang out with Paul?
You want to stay out here, bud? I want to get out here. He wants to stay with me. He wants to stay with me. Money! Holy shit, Tucker. Tucker, you crazy fucker. Paul's making a lot of money in this stream. I guess so. I don't know. These are not a money-making enterprise, but every once in a while, hey, what happens? Here, cuck. Damn. Money fans are here today. I guess you're right. I guess you're right, meds, peds. Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you think depressed people see reality as it is, or are they biased too? Everybody's biased. Everybody's biased, and I couldn't tell you a single thing about how anybody else sees reality. I don't know if I'm just a weird. That's one of the existential horrors of consciousness, is that you don't know if you're seeing what everybody else is seeing. What if green to me is orange to you? Huh? What if Salvador looks like a dog to me, but he looks like a hideous homunculus to you, You're a sociopath, Paul? What? Where's that diagnosis coming from, doctor? How am I a sociopath? How's that? Color blindness is an existential crisis. The hideous homunculus is you. Man, that's fucked up. You guys are so harsh, man. You guys are harshing my gig today. Existence is nothing more than one giant meme. Okay. It's like when you hallucinate and you feel like asking someone if they see it too. I guess. Garbage? You're garbage. You're garbage. What's the most embarrassing thing you've done that most people don't know about? Trying to think of, a lot of my most embarrassing moments end up turning into stories, and then I tell them to you guys. I'm pretty sure I've covered my most embarrassing shit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can't think of anything that rivals or even really comes close to the ones that I've told you already. You eating spaghetti with that beard? Because I would pay money to see that. I mean, I could eat spaghetti with this beard relatively simply. I've got a method for spaghetti. Even when I didn't have a beard, I used the method. You need a spoon to eat spaghetti properly. All this slurping and people trying to get all the noodles in their mouth and shit, you need a spoon. You get a spoon, you scoop up some of the noodles with the fork, you put the tines of the fork against the, rounded inner part of the spoon, and you twist. And what happens is that the spoon ends up carving off some of the fucking noodles, and you get a nice little twist, and it's a bite, and it's wrapped around your fucking shit, and you eat it. It's the way you do it. Paul, in your opinion, why don't the machines in the Matrix just immediately kill any humans who awake as opposed to flushing them down the drain? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they are, you know, because they want to recycle them. Wasn't that the idea behind it? And the idea behind it that they go into that vat and become food for all the other ones? I don't know. Yeah, Morpheus hacked it, dude. He hacked it. People hate on beards. I don't care. Whatever. Who cares? People that hate on beards are just mad because they can't grow one. Do you think that Mr. Plinkett from RLM, I don't even know who that is, so I'm not even going to finish reading your comment. I used to think growing plants was a worthless skill in the workforce, but then I found Mary Jane. People make fun of me. I'm graduating next year, grow weed out west as a plant and soil science major. Cool. That's nice. Thoughts on the fact that the vast majority of people couldn't properly argue against flat earthers? I mean, most people can't properly argue anything. It's just grumpy old men who hate facial hair. They can't handle change. Change? Since when has facial hair changed, though? Last time I checked, men have had beards since they've been men. You know what I mean? Good luck on getting the permits and the land, bud. Western real estate is expensive. Oh. Coming in with the advice. Flying in with that advice. If I was a Mortal Kombat character, what would my fatality be? I don't know, man. What do you think? What do you think fits me? Should I just talk them to death or something? I'll just run my mouth at them until they die of fucking boredom. Salty blast. Just sit on them. That wouldn't be a great fatality, though. Yeah. Maybe I'd just, like, pull out my wang and jizz on them. You know, and it's like the saltiest substance ever, and it just, like, corrodes them. Belly flop them repeatedly. That seems like a lame fatality, too.
I chopped off part of my finger last night.
What?
I just want to show you.
Motherfuck!
Isn't that gross?
How'd you do that?
I was chopping carrots.
And you...
And I just went, psh.
Ah!
Yeah,
Ouch.
it's pretty nasty.
It's like a flap of skin there that
Yeah.
you tried to save over it.
I just, like, compressed it on my...
I bet that bled for a long time.
God, it was so bloody. I still can feel my heartbeat in it.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Ugh. Ouch. Gorilla versus Boba Fett fatality. Yeah, there you go. Throwing salt shards that tear them apart into a million pieces. Yeah, but you know, like you do that with a sword though. You gotta find something salt centric. Like salt dries things out. You know, so maybe you just like turn their blood into salt or whatever, and it just dries them out, turns them into a mummy from the inside. You know, that'd be pretty cool. What did Chelsea do? She, like, sliced her finger real bad. Cutting carrots, I guess. Oh yeah, I could call in a nuke strike. That'd be cool. Yeah, I like that fatality. That'd be neat. Call down the nukes. What are your thoughts on Andrew Yang 2020? I think he has no chance of winning. There you go. TJ would throw a banana at you and it'd chop off your head and come back to him like a boomerang because. I think we came up with a better fatality for TJ earlier, though. The bombardier beetle. Like he drops trowel, he bends over, he spreads his cheeks and fires a bunch of bananas at you to stun you. And then he just like grunts and like a big gush of flaming hot oil hits you in the face and just like melts your face. Ah! The bombardier beetle, dude. Yeah, we came up with that at the beginning of the show. I was giggling about that earlier. I gotta go get something to drink. I'll be right back. What? Something to drink is what I think. Something to drink. Dancing to the floor of the kitchen. A couple more up in the walls and the ceiling. Eyes open, I'm seeing you, I'm watching you. Tell me why I can't get no relief. There we go. Okay. There we go. There we go. Scotty fatality. The Screed. He just starts like berating you until you kill yourself. I think that would be the perfect Scotty fatality. You're such a worthless piece of fucking shit. You made me sick to my stomach. In fact, I don't even want to impugn getting sick to my stomach because I'd rather be sick to my stomach than look at you. You disgusting fat fucking slob. You're worthless. You're a goddamn motherfucking. You know, and then you just find your character just like. Scottality. Talks them into suicide. Yeah, that's the idea. I'd look sharp in a sombrero. Maybe I'll try one out. Maybe I'll get one. Hey Paul, I'm coming to Cali for my anniversary. Any recommendations for Fresno or LA? Are you going to Fresno? Why would you go to Fresno for your fucking anniversary, man? My recommendation for Fresno is to drive straight the fuck through it and go to Yosemite. How's that? I don't know. There's good food in Fresno. If you like Mexican food, just eat at any little hole in the wall Mexican restaurant in LA or Fresno, and you're gonna have a great experience. as far as shit to do, I mean, LA is probably the most shit to do city in the world. So I could sit here and just list stuff off all day. You know, go see movies, go see theater, go to fucking amusement parks of any stripe, go see, you know, fucking crazy ass art shows, go to museums. I know the Natural History Museum in LA is pretty cool. Although the last time I was there, I was so stoned I could barely see straight. So everything's pretty cool when you're like that, I guess. I remember it being pretty dope. That was a fun time. That first LA trip was like mythologically fun. Luke Perry died. I heard he had an aneurysm or a stroke or something. I didn't hear he died. Most people probably don't even know who Luke Perry is. I barely remember him myself. Don't go to LA, it's awful. If you listen to that moron, you'll never have the best time of your life. People that think that LA is awful are the exact type of person that I would use the IRL ban button on. I was musing about that earlier as I was muting some moron on Twitter. I'm just like, oh, this guy's a douche, mute. And I was like, man, dude, if real life had one of those, that I could just take categories of people and, you know, throw them, just make it to where they will never bump into me, never interact with me, never pass me on the road, you know what I mean? Just the IRL ban. Oh man, that'd be great. People that don't like LA would be one of the first buttons I'd hit. I'd be like, okay, this person bitches about LA. I never need to speak to them about anything. Hit the button, hit the button, hit the button. Driving in LA sucks. Other than that, it's not too bad. Yes, the driving in LA does suck. I'll admit that any day of the fucking week. Yes, the traffic in LA does periodically suck. Probably worse than it does anywhere else in the world. If you like traffic all day, every day, I guess. You see, the point...
Well, you want any coffee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. The point of there being traffic in LA...
You do sugar in it, or you like it?
No, just black. Thank you. The point of there being traffic in LA is that there's people going to do shit. It's not like, you know, just driving around in circles or whatever is a pastime there. The reason that there are so many cars on the roads in LA and why driving is such a fucking nightmare there is because there's a billion fucking people living there and a billion things to do. Are there any funny words you mutter when you're baked? Not really. Like, when I say what, like, it gets really drawn out. I've been told that. Like, when Paul's stonedy, I go like, what? That's how it's been. I don't notice it, but maybe, like, you know, you guys could listen for it. What? What? Excuse me. Are you a good liar when I need to be? Got any fight stories? None where I win. I'll try and give you the history of my fights, okay? Fight number 1 was with a kid named TJ, but he was a Mexican kid. He was also in karate or something, so he kicked my ass. Thank you, Chelsea.
You're welcome. Super hot.
Sweet. Yeah, he was in karate, and he kicked my ass. Although, in my defense, he did have his friends help him a bunch. Like they crowded around, and kind of were like made the circle we were fighting in, and then he would shove me or whatever, or hit me, and I'd fall back into them, and they'd bomb on me from behind. So that's not real fair, but the next fight I got in was with Sean Johnson from, you might remember him from my stories. He was a grade level below me, and we were playing Smear the Queer, which, if you don't know what that game is, it's basically a bunch of dudes line up on one end of the football field. And then another dude gets at about the 50-yard line or so. And one of the guys in the big crowd of dudes throws the ball, lobs a big, arcing ball towards midfield. And the queer, who is the one guy standing at midfield, has to try and catch the ball and get past all the other dudes and get a touchdown. That's how we played Smear the Queer, which, I know is a horribly anachronistic term that would never be used now. Anyway, we were playing Smear the Queer, and Sean Johnson ended up being the queer, and I smeared him, and he didn't like it, and he got up and started trying to punch me. But I counted it as a fight because I got in trouble for it like it was a fight, but really it wasn't. I tackled him real hard, shoved him to the ground real hard, and he got up and got in my face, and I pushed him, and he pushed me, and he tried to throw a punch at me, and I just kind of locked up with him, and we were kind of rolling around on the ground a little bit, and then the teacher came, and yard duty teacher came and broke it up. So that was another fight I was in. I wouldn't say I lost that fight, but I wouldn't say I won it either. It was, it never went anywhere. Then I got in another fight in elementary school. And this was just another little minor fight with a kid who we used to call retarded Fu Manchu. He was neither Asian nor retarded in reality. He was a big fat kid, honestly. But he said he knew karate, and he would do it to like show off. He would like throw these kicks and stuff. His name was Brian, I think, but we didn't know him as Brian. We knew him as retarded Fu Manchu. He wasn't Oriental at all. We just called him Fu Manchu because he liked to pretend he knew karate and shit. And I got in a scrape with him. I don't even remember what it was over by the baseball diamond. That's all I remember. It was over by the baseball diamond, and me and him got in some kind of little tussle. I don't remember winning or losing that fight either. And that's about it, man. Honestly, like, I've broken up fights. I've been involved in fights in a mediative way, but not like part of the fight. So I won't call those actual fights I've been in. They're fights I've helped to break up. But as far as me standing toe-to-toe with another dude, that just hasn't happened. Just hasn't happened since, like, grade school. I just don't do it. Do internet fights count? No. Nothing on the internet counts. What about drunk fighting? I don't get violent when I get drunk. See, there are people that do. A lot of people do. A lot of people get aggro when they're drunk and shit. I'm not one of those people. I remain every bit as mellow as I am when I'm not drunk. I just get stupider. Adults fighting is dumb unless it's for money. Okay. Ever see TJ or Scotty fight? I've seen TJ and Scotty fight each other on a couple of occasions. I feel like you're slick enough with your words to get out of physical confrontation. I mean, I may not always be. I don't rely on that, but I have been in the past. I certainly prefer talking something out to bombing something out, you know what I mean? Beach 100, dude. Did they actually fight, or was it just a small petty spat? I mean, there were blows thrown. I mean, it wasn't like a fucking knockdown, drag out, one of them ended up dead type of fight. What did the Kirks fight entail? An argument about how long it was taking TJ to get up, I think. I've told the story before on the show, I think. It happened in New Orleans. We were there for the New Orleans DP meetup. We were all staying, well, not all of us. Ben had his own pad, but we were, me, TJ, Scotty, and our significant others at the time were all staying at the same spot. And I woke up one morning to this, the sounds of arguing, which was not unusual. And when I woke up, TJ was seated on the couch, and Scotty was standing, a few feet from him, leaned over and yelling in his face. And that just kind of escalated. They just kept yelling, and TJ stood up, shoved Scotty. Scotty grabbed a colored pencil off the table and tried to stab TJ with it. I think he actually did stab him a little bit with it. I don't think he hurt him all that, or broke the skin, but he stabbed at him with the pencil. TJ shoved him again and then sat back down on the couch, and then Scotty did a flying karate kick at him. That's legitimately what happened. Fu Manchu style, yeah. I could definitely picture TJ stabbing TJ in frustration with a pencil, yeah. Did the kick hurt TJ? I don't think so, no. It might have left a bruise on him or something, but yeah, the kick landed, and Scotty landed on the couch next to TJ after the kick. And TJ just kind of shoved him off the couch, and then their mom interceded and took Scotty out of the house. And Scotty and his mom went to lunch, and then me and TJ went to lunch. And we ended up going to lunch at the same place that Scotty and their mom was at. That was a beautiful end to the fight, You just go for the collarbone with TJ? Yeah, just give him a collarbone chop. He'll go. I bet Scotty has stabbed TJ with various objects a number of times. I don't know. If TJ comes out here, I'll ask him. I'll ask him if he's been frequently stabbed by Scotty. I'd be willing to bet that you're right. Do you all get equal money from DFF? Hey man, let me take a look at your paycheck. That's a Nunya question. Like, why would I answer that any more than you'd answer me about how much bread you make and where it comes from? I don't know. Maybe those types of questions aren't considered impertinent these days, but man, dude, that type of shit, I was just raised, you don't do that. Like, you don't pry around in people's fucking personal business dealings and shit. Acting so legitimate? What? What are you talking about, dude? What's the diameter of Uranus? But it's the I love that it's the British diameter with the RE, you know, not the ER. Yeah, I get paid in Confederate script. It's my PIN number. 84 74 21 13. You're my pearl from the deep. What's the most physically painful thing that has ever happened to you? I'm gonna say my gallbladder, when I had a gallbladder attack. That was like, felt like I had a spear straight through me. Like, that's how I remember it feeling, because the pain was like, it was on the left side here, and it was like right here, like a spear all the way through you. It's like the pain went from there to there. And it was just like, that was awful. It was awful. So I'd say that was the first one that came to mind. If I've been in more pain than that, I don't remember it. Not when your ass exploded. Well, that was painful, but it wasn't like, you gotta understand, like, if I go to the emergency room, I'm dying. Something's really wrong with me, because I don't, otherwise I just kind of don't. What's your blood type? I actually don't remember. I think I'm like AB positive or something. Or AB negative.
I'm O something, but I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me feel better because I don't know. And people are usually like, you have to know that. And I'm just like, I don't.
I don't.
I think I'm O negative.
My mom knows it, you know? If I ever need to know it, I can just call my mom. She'll be like,
can't they test
you're AB
that
positive,
super
Peaches.
easily?
They can, yes.
You're LGBTQ plus, Peaches.
LTBGT.
LGTBG.
Did you skate?
Oh,
No.
Chelsea reminded me of the word that Dusty kept saying wrong when I was trying to reference it. It was infamously.
Infamously? What was he
Said it
saying?
like 30 times.
What was he saying? Infamously?
No. It was so much weirder than that. His mispronunciation was so weird that I honestly can't replicate it.
Infamously?
He somehow shoved a T in it.
Changing
Infamously?
It was like infamously.
Infamously?
Yeah.
Something like that.
it.
And he said it
I
like
can't even fuck it up.
I know.
It's hard.
Like, infamous is a pretty easy word to say.
And he kept saying like LGBT community. and
LTBT?
Yeah.
Sounds like a sandwich.
What the fuck is going on with Dusty, dude?
I just don't get why you would say a word that you can't say 30 times in your video. Like, maybe just say it once and realize you can't say it and don't say it again.
The LTBT community, dude. Yeah, that sounds like something delicious that I'd order off a menu.
But every time I idea for a sandwich,
Go for it. Hit me with it.
it's a BLT,
Uh-huh.
but with gator on it. Then you can call it LGBT, and that's served on rainbow bread, dude.
Why don't you put some queso on it?
Oh yeah.
And then it could be an LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You right.
Yeah, be inclusive.
Yeah, it's a sandwich with gator and Mexican queso on it.
Gay tour.
Gay tour. I don't know, man. My ideas for a sandwich are always centered around the Monte Cristo. Because that sandwich to me is something super special.
It's the ultimate sandwich.
The turkey Monte Cristo with raspberry jam in it, and then it's all fucking deep fried and shit. Like, I don't know, dude. That's like, That would be the I want to do a different kind of sandwich like that. I don't know what else I could do. What other sandwich could you deep fry? Dude, what if you took the meat from these fucking delicious ass po' boys around here,
Yeah.
stuff that in a a pocket of bread with a bunch of cheese and stuff, you know what I mean, and then deep fried that motherfucker. I bet that'd be good.
Yep. The clogger.
The clogger.
A deep fried po' boy.
I like it. The clogger.
Yeah, that would hurt.
Comes in. It looks pretty much the same way going out as coming in.
What was on the chicken, the double down?
The double down.
Bacon
It was
and cheese.
It was just two pieces of chicken with bacon and cheese.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I remember that the bun was chickens, but I could not for the life of I was like, what did they put in it?
It was bacon and cheese.
Yeah. They could have put tomato or something too, but it was literally
Bacon.
just bacon, cheese, and chicken.
That was a disgusting item.
Can you imagine how greasy your hands would be after that?
I ate one once. It was horrible.
Ugh.
I couldn't even get through it.
KFC chicken isn't even good.
It sucks. KFC's garbage.
Too much chicken.
Yeah, you can go wrong. I don't eat one.
Does Louisiana have a food culture, or is that just Southern barbecue or something? Louisiana is like steeped in food
That's
culture.
like one of the few things
Super
we got
unique.
going for us here.
It's like an insane mix of like a ton of different cultures over the course of
kinda like
American and
jazz,
pre-American. Yeah,
Where it's like a mesh of a bunch of different
Right.
styles.
Ken Burns, describes jazz as gumbo because it infuses so many different cooking styles into one new.
French, Spanish, Cajun Creole, which is derived from French but different. And I think there's some Italian in there too.
Right.
So there's a ton of different styles used.
I mean, there's a bunch of others that we're missing too.
Yeah.
There's Hispanic culture, like Latin American culture is influences the food around here.
Yeah,
Indian
Caribbean stuff is in there.
American Indian food is
Yeah.
heavy here because this was an Indian outpost.
Yeah.
Like New Orleans, the first civilization to live here was the American Indian because it was useful to them for the same reasons it's useful to us. It's at the delta of a giant bunch of rivers, and
Yeah.
Oh,
the Gulf is
So
teeming with life and food, so
I mean,
it
when
makes sense.
New Orleans is like the most racially diverse city I think in America.
I think it always has been too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has been for a long, long time.
It was integrated before integration. It had a vibrant African American community that were artists and had social status in a time when so it was actually the most progressive place in America for a long time during the dark slavery years, even though Louisiana was a slave state.
Yeah.
So anyway, what that means is that you have an incredible food culture here because you have not only each one of those types of food represented in many different ways in many different restaurants, but you've got the fusion of all those food, which is Cajun and Creole food, which is arguably better, the sum of all the good things about all those other things.
Creoles are interesting. It's like basically like they were like the partially black.
They were called Creoles of color,
Yeah.
and they were mixed race, black presenting people that had a certain level of social status
Right.
because of their white blood and their
they-
relationship to a white
And
person.
it was weird because they actually like identified with their white.
Right. They sided with white people.
Right. But then when things got too racist, they were kind of kicked out of the white community. So
And-
they kind of.
Found their way back into the black
Yeah,
community,
kinda
but
does.
it ended up being a huge boon because they had access.
Cooking education too. So.
Right. So they had all this culinary knowledge and all of this musical knowledge, all of this classical training, and they brought that back into the black community that had just given birth to the blues,
Yeah.
and kind of brought all the chops to it and made it a fucking art form,
Yeah.
which is awesome. But that's the same thing happened with food. So this place is like
food and music.
you say anything you want about it, but it's like a place that's steeped in food and musical culture.
America owes a little bit of a debt to Nolans. I mean, like if you look at jazz, I mean, jazz really like even today is like has shaped. Because I mean, jazz led to rock and roll, which led to it led to R&B and hip hop. It led to every fucking thing.
Well, I mean, if you look at what I consider to be the three major coastal cities of America, we're in one of them, New Orleans. The other's New York, and then L.A.
Yeah.
Each one of them has contributed something very unique to the national landscape, and that's cool. But yeah, there's a lot of American culture is wrapped up in those
not
coastal.
as cosmopolitan as those other two.
No, no,
Yeah,
but that's kind of the point.
Nor as sizable.
Though.
Yeah. I mean, I have an affinity for New Orleans and its history. So.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting place. I don't know if I feel like I fit here, but
I've never felt like I fit anywhere I live, but
I don't know.
It's
I felt like I fit pretty well in Washington.
Yeah, that was well. I never really integrated with the community there, though. I mean,
It's,
I don't know,
that
wherever I am,
that's
I'm
why I
not
felt like
so-
I fit well,
Yeah.
because
You have to.
there really was no community to integrate with. Everybody had their own thing going on, and so do I.
Yeah.
People left you alone. That
Yeah.
was really nice.
They didn't look at you weird either, because Billy the Fridge was walking around, so it's
Yeah.
like I'm old news over there.
Yeah, that's always great. But it'd be the same in New Orleans too. It's just different here on the North Shore because it's more
People are
uptight.
so fucking
That is
stingy
true.
here.
I noticed that when we went to that aquarium with the girls, and me and you were just chilling outside, like you and I together probably draw a lot of eyes, but not out there. Not really.
No, no one cares there. You got fucking crazy people. Not crazy, but you know what I'm saying. Like people who look crazy. Like
Oh yeah.
dressed up, and you got like transvestites and shit walking the streets and talking with tourists and shit. And
Bellevue is so soul sucking. Man, I didn't feel that way about it fucking at all. Dude, Bellevue for me, for the type of person I am, was dope. Because
You
here's
had
the
a really
thing.
Cool life there too. 'Cause
Yeah.
yeah, because Paul just
You were
could go
right
down
in the
to
middle of everything.
Well, that's my
Right
thing.
down
Is
to,
like
the
I didn't have to
supermarket.
go anywhere to get anything. Everything I needed was within a 2-mile walking radius of my fucking home. The food was literally down an elevator from my home. Like that was like perfect for me. That city was perfect for me. At night, there was a place I could walk 1.5 miles up the street. Less than 1.5 miles. It was about 1 mile up the street from my place. The 13 Coins. Delicious fucking food 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm a night owl. I need places to go and do that. It was just perfect for me. I didn't have to have a car.
Yeah.
I didn't own a car, and it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, you didn't need it where you were.
Like, I was thinking, like, if we had stayed there, we were thinking about getting one of these zip car things, which is just a car key that will open any of the zip cars that are parked around, because my fucking apartment complex had zip car stalls that were always full. So it's just like, if we need a car, we got a car.
It's definitely cheaper.
Yeah, you definitely.
And there's so many services there, like delivery of like everything.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Anything
We got,
and everything.
Like, Reese's delivered to us from Amazon in like an hour.
Yeah.
Like literally,
Because we were right by an Amazon fulfillment center, and they had like some of the stuff you could get like.
they do grocery through Amazon.
Yeah.
Plus, they have all the grocery delivery services.
Oh yeah.
We barely went to the grocery store. But if we needed to, it was very close. Right up the street, next block over.
The main thing I miss is like that diner we used to go to.
I know, me too. Little
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
miss the scenery.
I miss the weather. I
Yeah.
miss
yeah.
the scenery.
The summer.
I miss the people don't give a fuck what you're doing, because it's definitely not that way down here.
I miss the pot shops.
Yeah, the legal weed. I miss
That was also really close.
the centralized style of living that I had there. I miss the abundance of like really good restaurants that I could just walk to at any time I wanted to.
I had more trouble in that department.
I miss the convenience.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about living in Bellevue too was like I was a 15, 16-minute bus ride from the heart of Seattle. I could take a bus from Bellevue to Seattle and they would drive it down in the tunnel that the Seattle rail system would use. I'd get off, get on the rail, take it up to fucking Capitol Hill or all the way down south or wherever I wanted to go. I mean, it was just like that whole place is designed so perfectly. They're actually talking about integrating that rail system from Bellevue to, you know, they've apparently been building it forever.
Cool.
So eventually you'll be able to just get on a train in Bellevue and take that into Seattle and it'll integrate directly into their rail system there.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to go anywhere in Seattle. It's fucking like, that's, every American city should take notes.
I mean, I really did. I mean, I don't understand America's weird reluctance for rail and shit. It's like people are scared of trains here or something.
What was the cost of living like in Bellevue? Exorbitant.
Yeah, that's why we're not living there.
It's one of the most expensive zip codes in the nation. Fucking Bill Gates lives in Bellevue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Google, or not Google, Amazon is headquartered in Bellevue. Not
Oh, there's so many.
Microsoft, too.
Microsoft is headquartered in Bellevue. So it was off the charts,
yeah.
too expensive.
It was-
I mean, not when we were on DP, I guess, but
Right.
and when the ad revenue was kicking at the height of everything, but
Yeah, when
once that fell out, every last one of us started going,
it was like adpocalypse happened, and then we're like, but then we kind of like we were able to adjust. But then once we knew we had to leave Drunken Peasants, it was like, okay, this isn't gonna work now.
yeah, there's no way, because we were planning on a longer incubation period for DFF becoming profitable. I mean, I remember us being like, you know, if we can get a couple hundred patrons by the first year, we're fucking, you know what I mean?
I don't think we were quite that low in expectations.
I don't know, dude. I remember you talking to me like it might take us a while if we can get
Oh,
a.
I mean, I definitely was surprised by how quickly it did happen, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, yeah, I thought, you know, we could be going through like this might be lean times for a while, and I mean, you know, compared to what we were making at the height of the Drunken Peasants, we're not there yet, but just.
I mean, we may never get there.
I mean, I want to surpass it, but
I would love to surpass it.
you know, I'm never gonna.
I'm just saying,
I
like
don't
that
I'm
ad
never-
environment. I mean, I can't.
Yeah, I'm never gonna.
What's
put a-
gonna be that lucrative again in this business?
I don't know. I'm never gonna put a ceiling on it though. I don't know. I think that, you know, I think we just keep going with the subscription model we got going, and just keep trying to get more people to recognize our Patreon and keep trying to get the back end better and better. I mean, the site's pretty close now. We just have to do one more test, and then if the test is successful, then it's going to start rolling out to patrons. So
That's nice.
hopefully that'll kind of crystallize their perks.
Yeah. I'm gonna cut once it's all done and shit, I'm gonna cut like a whole tutorial video for them, how to navigate the site, where everything
Probably a good
is.
idea.
Throw it up there.
But yeah, we're gonna roll that out to them pretty soon now. Probably in like the first, I don't know, probably like next week. If the test goes well, which I think it will. But we gotta get an updated.
Thoughts
site.
on the Michael Jackson documentary? I haven't seen it. I've seen people reacting to it, but nobody's like spoiling anything. They're just, I guess, creeped out or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I'll probably watch it. I'm kind of a documentary bug, so.
Yeah.
I especially like biographical documentaries, so. Or true crime ones. I like those too. Well, I like all. Fuck it. I like them all.
Yeah, I'm not a big.
I'll watch any kind of fucking documentary. I love the Underdog documentary, you know, that follows the small town guy trying to make good or whatever the fuck. I love the Fall from Grace documentaries. Those are great. Dude, one of the greatest ones of those, there's a documentary called The Queen of Versailles. And it's about this dude, what's his name? Fuck, I'm not gonna be able to remember his name, but he was like a huge timeshare guy. He was the biggest timeshare owner in the world, and had like buildings all over the fucking planet. And when the economy crashed, the bottom fell out. Well, this person was doing a documentary on him already. So the documentary starts with him in like opulence and spending money and flying everywhere on a private jet. And he's got like 18 kids with his wife, you know, because it's like there's unlimited money, so who cares? Like 9 nannies living with him and shit, you know. And then like the bottom falls out, and it's just like, man, what timing for a fucking awesome documentary? Because then it goes from like, you see it slowly descend, where like at first he thinks like, oh, I'll be able to sell a few things off and weather the storm, but the shit keeps getting worse and worse, and the debt piles up, and the banks get more and more fucking insistent, you know, as the documentary goes on. He ends up having to sell pretty much everything he owns and start from scratch again. So pretty fun documentary to watch. Well, maybe not start from scratch, but he has to sell most of what he owns.
He has a huge setback.
Yeah, he can't fly on private jets anymore.
Yeah, he's down to a lower economic ladder at that point.
Yeah, he sold his Bentley and got a more sensible car. You know what I mean? Sold his opulent properties everywhere. And
how did he deal with it on a psychological level?
Obstinance and denial. At the end of the documentary, he's still insisting he's getting it all back. He's like, it's just on loan to those motherfuckers that I sold it to, because I'm coming back for it. And I want to make it.
I wonder where he's at now.
I'm trying to remember what his name is. He might be dead. He was pretty old.
Oh, okay.
But it's not that old of a documentary, so it's like a 2009 or 10 documentary.
Right, 'cause it's around the time of the
right.
crash.
So trying to think. I'll remember his name. David. His name is David something. He owns Westgate, but that's not his last name. Westgate Properties was his like timeshare thing.
Yeah.
What was his fucking name? David. Somebody in chat, look it up for me, please. That's not David Duke, you idiot.
David.
It might not even be David. I think it is David.
Who is around?
Oh, yeah, he lives around here, huh?
Yeah, he's not far.
Siegel, thank you.
David Siegel.
Yep. David Siegel. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder.
You got your phone on you? You should look him up.
No, that's inside.
See what he's doing. See if he's... Because, like, he still had some timeshares and shit at the end of the thing, so he's probably still making money if he's alive. Dave ain't here, man. Westgate Resorts is an American timeshare company founded by David A. Siegel in 1982. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
David.
So I remembered that much.
Siegel.
Westgate Resorts.
David A. Siegel.
John L. Siegel.
American businessman. Blah blah blah.
Jonathan Livingston.
Personal life.
So he says net worth 900 million as of 2017. Jesus Christ. So he's still filthy, stinking, fucking rich.
Siegel's business, family, and personal life were adversely affected by the 2008 financial crisis. The scene battling the Queen of Versailles. On June 6, 2015, the Siegel's 18-year-old daughter, Victoria Siegel, was found unresponsive at their home in Windermere.
Oh, wow.
Hospital was pronounced dead.
That's crazy.
The cause of death was later determined to be a drug overdose, which motivated him to advocate against drug abuse.
Wow, dude, I didn't know that's crazy. Yeah, I remember his little girl from the documentary. So she's dead. Dude, that's crazy.
He tried to sue the documentary filmmakers too.
Really?
Yeah, let's see.
It's a Magnolia film, I think.
The matter was, let's see. On January 10th, 2012, David Siegel and Westgate Resorts Ltd. filed a lawsuit in Florida against the Sundance Institute and the filmmakers of The Queen of Versailles, claiming the Sundance published film description was defamatory. On January 23rd, 2013, the United States District Court Judge Conway of the Middle District of Florida ordered a stay of the lawsuit pending arbitration. Blah 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 blah.
So that's still ongoing.
So here's an article from January 2018 that says the Queen of Versailles has a new calling. Oh, this is about his wife, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's basically the central figure in the documentary.
This is about her crusade against drugs after her daughter's overdose.
Okay. She was an interesting figure. She's totally, as you would expect, like completely detached from reality because she's a billionaire's wife. But you can tell she has a good heart and she loves her kids and she tries to help people. And
I mean, they're still living in a gigantic palace. And
really? Did they get the Versailles? They must have gotten Versailles back if he's got a 900 million.
it says
He was building like
it says that it's still. I mean, it says this. This is an article from like 2 years ago. That
Yeah.
says it's basically construction has resumed on it anyway.
Oh my god, dude, he did it. He was fucking right. That crotchety old motherfucker was right. Oh
Yeah.
my god. He
I
got it all back.
I can't find any. I mean, I don't know if he's got it all back, but it seems.
If
like
he got that house back, he's got it all back. Let me tell you, dude, that house, it's kind of what the fucking documentary's built around.
it's a 90,000 square
yeah.
foot house.
At the time, it was the biggest house in America. It's got a fucking deck where you can watch the Disney fireworks go off every night. It's 90 square feet. It had something like 180 room or 90,000 square feet, not 90.
90 square feet. It's a palatial mansion.
Yeah, 90,000. It had. I mean, it was just fucking opulent. And his big fucking problem was in 2008 he had to sell it.
Right.
Like at the end of it, he had to like let it go or whatever. But he was saying, "I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna get it back." He fucking got it back.
Well, it sounds like it's back in his possession. So.
Yeah. Well, everybody that was able to weather the storm bounced back from that fucking recession. So he held on to enough money to when the fucking winds were favorable again, he was able to fucking just build it back up again.
Yeah,
If he's got $900 million in net worth, he's got it back. He's flying his jet again.
Yeah, he probably is. And it looks like his company is still in operation.
And he's still alive.
Yeah.
He was old as the hills in that documentary, and portly too, as an old man, chunky,
Well, it says
fat.
he was born in 1935, so
He's old.
yeah.
Motherfucker. Man, I love stodgy old obstinate pricks like that, man. I'm getting it all back. And he just does.
Like, yeah, no problem. I'm back.
Shit.
I'm back where I was.
Make part 2 of the documentary. He ain't gonna let a documentary anywhere near him or his fucking wife ever again. I guarantee you that. And it's not even because the documentary is mean to them. It's because they live such an opulent lifestyle that it reeks in times like this. You know, they don't want that shown anymore. Yeah, he ain't gonna let nobody do a documentary on him.
What about you, Sal? You got a documentary film your life? You want to be in a documentary?
He can't even consent to that shit. I could fucking turn this into a documentary on Sal right now. Watch this, dude. He can't even say no. This is Salvador. Salvador's a dog. He has a ball that he's destroyed.
No one wants that. It's not even a ball anymore. You destroyed it. I'm not going to throw half a ball for you to finish.
Yeah, it's like if you want.
Yeah, if you want to play fetch with the ball, don't destroy the ball. Like, it's not a ball now. It's half a ball.
Yeah, it's no longer a ball. God damn it. All right, that's the Salvador documentary. There you go.
Can I just interrupt that?
No, it's okay. I was done. Yeah, I was done. Like, it was a short documentary. I covered the whole scope.
He is a dog.
He's a dog who has a ball he's destroyed. That no one wants to throw because it's destroyed.
Mhm.
shall.
Salvadoggio. Yeah, do you think alien meat would taste good? I've always been fascinated by that, and I think it's because of that movie Enemy Mine. That movie's fucking brilliant, man. It's totally underrated. You don't hear anybody talk about Enemy Mine anymore, but like that movie is fucking off the charts amazing.
I mean, it's a pretty cool movie. I remember watching it a lot as a kid.
I watched it as a kid. I've watched it a bunch as an adult. It's been a few years since I've seen it. I'd say it's been probably 10 years since I've watched the movie.
Yeah.
But I've seen it a bunch of times, and it is evergreen for me, man.
I've always liked the whole, like, enemies must work together now sort of.
It's beyond that, though, dude. That movie has layers upon layers upon layers. It's like a racial tension, like, movie. So, yeah, you're right. The enemies being forced to work together there. But then there's, like, the pregnancy and the child rearing. And I love the period in time where they're just basically surviving and they're learning to hunt all the weird animals that live on this weird fucking planet.
Yeah.
That shit right there, man.
It's diggable.
It gets a little bit lame kind of at the end.
Yeah, like the revenge.
Yeah.
Thing. Like, I'm going to the planet to kill all these guys who are... What were they doing? They were like...
Well, he finds out that there's a mine on the planet.
Right.
And it's enslaving a bunch of Drac.
Right, yeah. And he goes
And his son,
yeah.
who is the Drac that's born from the other Drac that he lived with,
Yeah.
is kidnapped by these slavers and taken to the mines, and so he goes in there to save
Yeah,
him.
it's just like tonally not
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
didn't it's like two movies basically.
right. It just seemed like the premise to another, like an entirely different movie. At the end.
I still like it. I still do think it's got a good arc to it, and like it ends pretty decently, which is, rare for me to say about a movie. So overall, I think it's a totally great like bundle of stuff. Louis Gossett Jr. is amazing in it as the alien.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Plus, a totally. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was based on a book or something, but for the most part, a standalone concept that's not part of some extended cinematic universe or some bullshit. It's just its own thing. But yeah, not many people talk about that movie anymore.
Yeah.
Doesn't really seem to have, had that lasting impact. Whatever. I guess not every movie can.
I don't know. I think it's I think it's a very strange sci-fi film, and I like that. You don't see a lot of sci-fi movies about, raising an alien child or whatever the fuck. It has been explored. Remember that show from the 80s, Alien Nation?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch any of it?
I mean, I know enough about it to know what it was. I remember the aliens couldn't get wet or something.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah.
water or
There was something. No. It was like citrus fruit or some shit.
there was something that killed them.
Something they were really super like allergic or averse to.
It was salt water, not just regular water.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know, it was something like that. But yeah, they're all like bald and
But they all like lived in society and worked in the different fields and shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I forget the exact premise, but
It followed a detective, I think. A pair of detectives. It was like a crime drama story.
it's set in a world where aliens.
And one of the detectives was a human and the other was an alien.
Yeah.
That's how I remember it. I think it's centered around their lives and the crimes that they investigated, which were heavily themed around like racism against aliens.
Right.
And the conflict that caused.
So kind of like a precursor almost to like District 9, maybe a little.
Kinda, yeah. I would say that if you talked to the dude that wrote and directed
Like
District
Neil
9,
Blum,
yeah,
something.
he's got a weird South African name, but whatever. Yeah, I think if you talk to him, he would probably mention it as a
Because I mean, it does.
as an inspiration for District
It's
or
kinda similar.
District 9. Yeah,
But I barely remember it, so I don't know how similar it actually is.
I barely remember it too. Herman's Head, dude. Herman's Head. That's another great show that just, I don't know, man. It was before its time, I think, and it just didn't find it. Like, it was too smart for its time, I think.
What was it?
Herman's Head.
I don't even know what that one is.
Most people don't. It was and I watched a bunch of it when I was a kid, but it was a show about like all of the like weird idiosyncrasies that lived in a dude's head, but he could visualize and talk to them. So it was his schlubby life, but the real show was going on in his head, and between all these crazy different parts of his personality that are represented by all these different characters. Cool show. It was discount Inside Out, yeah. I guess so, yeah. Budget Inside Out would be a good way to describe it. District 9 might be my favorite sci-fi movie. I don't blame you, man. It really is brilliant. I mean, the more I watch it, the more I like it. So, and I do, and, I'm a serial rewatcher of movies, and, usually good movies are that way. Every time I sit down and watch The Godfather, I like The Godfather a smidge more than I did before I watched it. Geez, what did you do, Paul? Is sitting in the middle of a room while TJ walks around you in circles, forcing you to read comments. Some kind of punishment? What? Can somebody ban him, please? I don't even want to touch him. I don't want to do it.
Pretty much anyone who
Thank
knows
you.
me is used to being paced around by me, so.
Yeah, I wasn't even offended by the comment. It was just too stupid to live. What movies would you say you've watched the most?
For a serial rewatcher like you, that should be an interesting question.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good question, because I could probably nail down at least a couple that are in contention. I've seen Aliens probably over 100 times.
No, I am not a rewatcher like Paul.
Yeah.
There are a few movies I've seen. Like, for me, like, if I've seen a movie a lot, it's, like, going to be around, like, 10 or 15 times. For Paul, it's
Right.
going to be, like, 200 or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wish I had life stats so I could know how many times I've watched these movies. But I would say that here are the movies I've watched over 100 times, by my estimation. Aliens, The Lion King,
Be prepared.
The Big Lebowski,
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
let's see. Fuck me, man. I'm probably missing a bunch here, but I'd say those three right there would be in contention for the one.
Movies I know I've watched a lot. I know I've watched Shawshank Redemption a shit ton of times. I know I've watched Forrest Gump a shit ton of times.
Forrest Gump would no, I don't know if I'd say I'd watched Forrest Gump over 100 times, but I did go through like a period of time where I watched it a lot.
I've probably seen it at least 30 times.
Because I could do the whole. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say Forrest Gump is over 100 times. Because I used to be able to, like. Here's a thing I used to do. I used to work a job that was ultimate drudgery.
Right.
Like when I was 16, I was 15, I had a work permit. I was saving for a car when I turned 16. I worked a job where, like, I was standing in a pile of glass looking for pieces of ceramic. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like. And I'd seen a movie so many times that I'd be able to, like, as I was doing that shit, I'd be able to just start in my head, like, no, the wind, I'd be able to go through the whole goddamn movie and just, I knew every line, every song. So I've definitely seen, and I was able to do Lion King and Forrest Gump. Those were the two movies that during that time I just, like, fucking leaned on like a crutch. I've seen There Will Be Blood a lot. I don't know if I've seen it over 100 times.
Yeah. I know exactly how many times I've seen that movie. I've seen it 3 times.
There you go.
Which is a lot for me. Because usually I see a movie, like, once. Most movies I'm okay with one viewing. And I'm like, well, I've seen it.
Why Lion King? Because I don't know, man. I think it's my personal favorite Disney movie, probably.
Lion King's cool as fuck. Whatever.
I mean, the songs are great, the characters are great, the story is pretty cool, the animation is
The
beautiful.
script is really sharp.
The script is sharp. Yeah, there's only a few draggy kind of moments in it. Most of it's pretty packed with meaning and depth and action, and it's visually appealing throughout. I don't know, man. It's my favorite Disney movie, so I've watched it a bunch of times. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, my favorite is Aladdin, which they're getting ready to butcher. So, and yours too. So,
Yeah.
they're getting ready to butcher both of
Yeah.
our favorites, I guess.
I'm fine with it though.
I'm not fine with it at all.
I mean, deep at the core of me, I'm fine with it. Outwardly, I'm kind of not. I'd rather they not do it. But at the core of me, I've come to... Because, like, dude, I've seen it happen too many times. My childhood, like my early childhood, if I had to pick, like, what was the big fucking thing you were into when you were, like, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Ninja Turtles.
That was mine too.
Look what I've endured. Look
Yeah.
what we've endured already. What else can they take from us,
Yeah,
TJ? What else can they take?
Dude, I love that original Ninja Turtles cartoon. I mean, as a kid, I loved it. I mean, as an adult, it probably wouldn't have much entertainment value. But
As a kid, I don't remember being more excited for anything during those years.
I was a huge Ninja Turtles fan.
Saturday morning was the greatest day of my life because it was just like every Saturday was Ninja Turtle Day, dude, and it was usually a new episode of Ninja Turtles, you know.
Yeah.
And they were badass episodes, man. They did look for a kids show. You got to look at it through that lens. They were not making that for fucking grown-ups to
No, there
watch.
was no cross appeal on that one.
So, but through the lens of like a show that is supposed to keep kids' attention, and stuff, man, it was fun. I just remember it being fun. I remember all the little side characters they introduced being fun. Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady and
Yeah, I loved Krang.
Slash, the evil turtle.
Krang.
Oh, I used to love, what was his, Casey Jones?
Casey Jones.
Yeah.
The
Casey Jones, a hockey mask wielding vigilante, yeah. He was badass. I mean, it was just, Baxter Stockman, the evil scientist.
Who turns himself into a fly.
Yeah, turns himself into a fly, yeah. I mean, it was just filled with, like, great, evocative, colorful characters and... meaningful conflicts and different, I don't know, dude. It was great.
It was cool. Shredder was a great villain.
Shredder was a good villain, but he was also surrounded by other good villains. Like, Krang was awesome, and Bebop and Rocksteady, obviously, were great dunder-headed, like, toadies of the villain, And then the Foot Clan were great because, like, they were, dudes that they could throw at the turtles to have them decimated.
They made them robots so that the turtles could actually chop them up and shit.
Right. So, in a show where you're definitely and at a time where you're definitely not going to get geysers of blood in a kids show. I mean, even now you're not going to get that.
Too much of that.
But yeah, it was a pretty smart way for them to, let the turtles fuck up some Foot Clan, Chop that motherfucker's head off. It's all right. He's just a robot. He's just a robot.
Just a robot. He's cool.
I was in but I don't know what else they can take from me. I know Uwe Boll wants to do a Mask movie. I don't know if you even remember Mask.
Oh, right.
The old 80s cartoon.
Yeah, I remember that a little bit.
Mask. Oh, Defenders of the Universe. Doom, doom, doom. Mask. Dude, go look up the Mask fucking theme song, man. It's amazing.
It was a part of the inspiration for our intro. It was one of the things I sent to the animator.
Yeah.
That was like, here's another thing that's kind of like in the style we want.
Yeah, the 80s was awesome.
Yeah.
Had a great aesthetic. Had a great kind of counterculture. It had its fair share of dorky fucking movements too, and bad music, but whatever.
Dude.
I liked the 80s.
80s were cool. I like the 70s. I like the 80s.
You thought you meant The Mask with Jim Carrey? No. Mask was like, I don't know what it was short for, but it was an acronym. It was like
To me, like
MASK.
1970 to 1995, 96 or so.
Yeah,
That was like
that's the golden
the
age.
golden age to me. Things
Well-
started going south in the late 90s, but
Yeah, I agree. I think like 98, 99 specifically.
1998 was really, to me, the year that things started to go bad.
Yeah, and it's the year I graduated high school.
Yeah, you know, how old was I in 98? I was like...
You would have been like 14, 13.
No, I'd have been, I'd have been, let's see, it was in 95, I was 10, so I'd been like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
But things definitely started going to shit. You know what I think really kind of kicked off the shit years for me was like when I went and saw Godzilla.
Oh, with Broderick?
Yeah, and I was like, huh,
That was ass.
that was really bad.
I went and saw that movie and thought the same thing, too.
And it was almost like,
It was on the heels of...
looking back on it, I feel like it was almost like the death knell of like, okay, good movies are over now. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you might get one every now and then, but like, don't get used, like, the quality you enjoyed up to this point is dead. So
There was a
fuck
lot
it.
of dog shit in the 80s and 90s,
course
too,
there
but
was.
the
There's
quality
always-
quotation was higher. I
There's
agree.
always a bunch of dog shit. I'm not... you know,
Right.
you could find dog shit from any year and any... But, you know, just like... You know, there were so many great, like... I just don't know when people look back on, like, this time, like, what movies are actually going to have any sort of nostalgic appeal, because they all just suck.
You ever have a movie that you've seen for the first time blow your mind in the theater?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the movie that's blown your mind the hardest the first time you saw it in the theater?
The movie that blew my mind the hardest the first time I saw it
Yeah, in like a theater setting though.
in the theater.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
I mean, there's been a few movies that blew my mind in the theater, and let me see. So, probably the biggest for me was when I went and saw The Dark Knight at a midnight showing. The energy in that theater was just fucking insane. Like, it was like the whole audience was just totally 100% on board with everything that movie was doing. So it was kind of like when you get that kind of crowd for something, that energy just radiates.
Well, that Batman shit is huge.
And like, I think I remember
And you're talking about the first one, right? The Dark Knight, the first one in the trilogy.
No.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm talking about the
Heath Ledger
Yes.
Joker. Okay,
and when
okay.
Heath Ledger,
Got it.
like, I think that the moment, like, you knew that moment where he's like, I want to make this pencil disappear.
Yeah.
And he slams the dude's head into the pencil and like jams it through his eye and his brain. He's like,
Right.
ta-da! And the whole audience was just like, what the fuck? You know, it was like crazy energy in that
That's
theater.
cool.
And when we came out, the whole theater was just like, everyone's talking about it. Like, it's one of those movies everyone comes out and just immediately, there's like conversations
I
about
mean,
the
most of
movie
that is
going
like
on.
Ledger's performance too, right? Because that's just going to go down in history
Oh, yeah.
as a transcendent performance.
I mean, that's like one of the, I mean, like, if you
I
were-
can't imagine you as a Joker fan being any happier with a performance
No,
than
no
that.
way, no way. I have,
I mean, maybe.
I mean, look,
what do you think about fucking what's his name's Joker coming up?
I'm anticipating it with I've got cautious
Joaquin.
optimism.
Yeah, Joaquin
I
Phoenix.
was really disappointed. Obviously, a lot of people were with the Jared Leto version, which
Of course.
seems derivative of Heath Ledger's Joker in all the wrong ways, but then also just went a totally like, I got damaged tattooed on my forehead. It's like, what is this, the Hot Topic Joker? Get this the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker could be cool.
We'll see. He's a talented.
He's a great actor.
He's gonna bring
and,
a different energy to it than
yeah,
I
and
think
some
Heath
of
Ledger did.
The stuff I've seen behind the scenes shoots and stuff, he looks really interesting. It looks like they're doing something really interesting with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. It seems like they're drawing some inspiration from the Heath Ledger one, but they're going a little bit more, bringing it back to like that circus level a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of comes across as almost like a ringmaster kind of clown, you know, I don't know. It's I don't know, I mean, you know, until you see the performance and hear the voice and understand what he's doing with it, it's kind of hard to say, but I'm anticipating it because I think that Joaquin Phoenix, you know, whatever you think of his whatever strange personal life or anything. You know, he's a fucking really awesome actor. So
Yeah.
if anyone can do, I mean, like I think there's been a lot of actors who have done great things with the character of the Joker. I mean, it's not just Heath Ledger. I think he did the most interesting thing with it. But I mean, Jack Nicholson's Joker was amazing. Mark Hamill's voice for the animated Joker and the way they animated him was amazing. Even fucking the cheesy ass Cesar Romero Joker is fun. So
Well, it had a thing to it at least.
The thing about the Joker as a character is that he's very open ended and very open to.
Yeah, he's like a
interpretation.
blank slate basically.
Right.
You
So,
can just fill
a lot
him.
of people argue that he's not really a great character because he's so open like that. But I think it makes sense when you realize he's supposed to personify chaos.
He wouldn't be if there weren't so many great interpretations of him throughout the comic books
Right.
and the cartoons
It's
and
just
the movies.
it's kind of hard to peg down what the actual core is.
Nicholson's Joker was awesome too,
I mean, it was great. I mean, so
in
many,
its own way. You
so
know?
many actors and artists and comic book writers have done so many interesting things with that character that I mean, I'm not protective of any one interpretation. So I think that Joaquin Phoenix definitely could do an awesome Joker.
Yeah.
You know, why didn't Jared Leto is my real question.
I just don't think Jared Leto's got villain in him.
Yeah, I don't know.
The only movie that I can think of that I've really liked Jared Leto in was fucking Requiem for a Dream.
Right.
Beyond that, I know he's probably been in some stuff that he was okay in, but nothing jumps
It
out.
was like even when you saw him in Blade Runner.
He was the
2049.
standout worst part of that movie.
He was easily because it was like the rest of the movie was pretty serious, and he was like this comic book villain.
And there's no excuse for it either, because the concept for the character as this guy that can control all these little drones and see what they see, and he's blind otherwise, you know, he's given up his sight so that he can have this. That's such a cool concept for a futuristic villain, but his portrayal of it is just dripping with melodrama.
It
And
seems like he'd be more at home in like a Judge Dredd movie, you know.
he just, and he doesn't, like, he's got a cool look if you look at stills or like maybe look at trailer footage of him, but his portrayal of the character just kind of betrays it, and he becomes lame to look at.
He definitely was the standout worst part of that movie.
So that was the biggest failing, I think, of what was otherwise a brilliant movie.
Yeah. And then even though it's a small part, I really love the way that David Batista played that character in the very beginning, because it was like, I really have an affinity for the way that guy acts, because
it's kind of raw and unique to him.
In the first part of that movie, he's like, when you first meet his character, he's very like, you could tell that he's like very like a gentle kind of character, even though he looks kind of grizzled. But he's playing this very soft sort of character. But then when he snaps and goes to that other place, it's just like that.
Right.
I just love an actor that can take you from one place to another place so quickly yet so seamlessly.
Yeah.
Without it feeling forced or unnatural.
Well, there's a lot of authenticity to that, because
Right.
he's got, years of experience doing that explosive anger thing for a living. You know, so it's like,
and he did just a tremendous job. And I love the comedic timing he has in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
I don't know if he's coming back for another one of those, because it kind of seems like he's on the outs with Marvel over they're firing
what's his name?
whatever the guy's name was.
Yeah.
The director that made some off-color
Gunn,
jokes.
James Gunn,
Yeah,
right?
James Gunn. And now James Gunn has been swooped up by DC. So.
Well, I mean, maybe he can turn it around for him.
Because he's trying to turn around Suicide Squad, and I think Batista actually has more loyalty to him, because Batista.
Dude, that's Killer Croc right there.
Yeah, he wants to be Killer Croc,
Yeah, that's Killer Croc right there.
and he would be great.
Yes.
Way better than whoever the fuck played him in that last.
Yeah,
terrible
get
movie.
rid of just start from the fucking scratch with Killer Croc.
Yes.
Get rid of that.
Well,
start from scratch with
the whole Suicide Squad. I mean,
other than Harley Quinn.
You don't need to re-establish their origin story or anything, but just.
I'd say
we
keep.
get it.
I'd say dump every character and the actor that played them except for Harley
and
Quinn.
Will Smith has already left the project.
Good.
So
He was not needed or wanted back.
and he was not good.
He was not good in
He
the
was
first
not
one.
right
no.
for that character.
Nobody but Harley Quinn could claim to have embodied the character well.
Yeah, everyone else is shit.
I can't remember what her name is that plays Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, she was good.
She's got the look. She's got the aesthetic down. She's got the stupid little accent down.
And of course she was, but I mean, you know, she was in a terrible movie.
Yes.
I think a lot of people think that she wasn't good, but I think it was just the movie that was bad. I think that she actually did a very good job. So yeah, I think she could be great as far as continuing on the legacy of that character, and probably give her a better role this time.
Yeah.
And don't even put the fucking Joker in it. Just leave that alone.
Well, I saw a piece of, like a picture from some of the pre-production stuff, and I guess she's got a tattoo on her thigh that has it's pudding, but it's crossed out or whatever.
Right. So she's broken up with the Joker.
Either she's broken up with him or he's dead. Maybe they just kill him off in it.
Yeah. Well, I think they should just not even address him. So, or if they do, it should be like a one, like a dismissive, like, yeah, he's whatever, because that needs to go away. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do with it, because I thought, that was another movie that I went to. I had no expectations for it going in. Guardians of the Galaxy, the original fucking Guardians. I'm like,
Yeah.
I went into it because I'm like, I'll see a movie, I guess. This looks alright. And man, I was just like, wow, that was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that one was good.
And it was just like, I don't know, it was like funny, and it like you can see it changed Marvel's whole approach to how they do their movies. Because after that, a lot of their other movies kind of were trying to jack the tone of Guardians. I don't think anything's ever really even gotten close.
No. Not even Guardians 2 was
No.
able to attain it.
No.
But it has folded nicely into the universe and added a lightness to the tone
changed
that
the
was
sense
much
of,
needed.
Yeah, it changed the sense of humor of Marvel entirely.
Yeah.
Like
It was getting real dour there for a while.
right, and I think they were like, we don't need to be DC. We're Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, these movies should be fucking fun.
Yeah.
If people want to watch a fucking overly dramatized piece of shit, they can go fucking watch a DC movie.
Yeah. Must agree. The movie I remember blew my mind the hardest seeing it in the theater, only because me and the 3 or 4 dudes that I went and saw it with walked out the back of the theater around to the front and went and saw it again, was The Matrix.
Oh, The Matrix. Dude, 2 movies around that time just blew my fucking young mind, because I was a teenager when they came out.
Yeah, I was 18.
And the thing about The Matrix was, somehow I'd never seen any trailer for it or anything. Like, even though I was...
You didn't even know what it was?
Yeah,
or...
the way I remember how I heard about The Matrix. I was flipping through Wizard, because I was a big comic book nerd and shit, and I had a subscription to Wizard magazine, and I was flipping through, and there was like a full page ad, and it was just like it was like one of the pods where they store people, and it was like a fetus, and it had like plugs and shit in its head, and it just said The Matrix. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
That was the only promotion I saw for it, so I went into the movie totally blind as to what it was going to be about. I had no idea. And it was just fucking... I'm like, wow, this is the best fucking movie I've ever seen. This is great. And then Blade, the original Blade, came out around that time, and it was just like... I could not believe the action and the fight choreography in that movie for the time period. Now it's kind of standard.
Well, just the cool aesthetic, too. Was
Yeah,
just, like, off the charts. Like, the reimagining of vampires and the reintroduction of vampires into a modern setting in such a cool way.
And then Blade 2 actually was able to bring it to another level, and
Yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah.
Because, of course, you had...
A rare example of a sequel that
Right.
kind of lives up
And
to
you
the
had
original
Guillermo
and
del Toro
surpasses.
bringing shit to the next level. There was some kind of cringy CG fights shit. In
There
the middle,
was.
but whatever.
Whatever. That was
overall-
everywhere in the 90s.
Overall, it held up. And then the third Blade sucked.
Forrest Gump, I saw that with my dad. When that came out, it was, I think, was it 89 or 90, 91, something like that.
It was a little bit later than that.
Was it? I was like 12
I feel
maybe.
Like it was 93?
Yeah.
Or 91, 90, it was like 92, 93, around there.
Yeah. So I remember seeing that with my dad when it came out. I would have been 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And that movie just like was like, whoa.
You never seen a movie like that?
No,
or,
never. I had never seen a movie. I
don't even know if a movie like that had been made before, honestly.
I mean, there are like these really intense, lifelong biopic type of movies that follow somebody from their youth all the way through old age. I mean,
But with a character like Forrest Gump, though? I mean,
No. And just the
the
way
closest
that
thing I can even think of to Forrest Gump. I don't know if you've seen that, but have you ever seen Being There
yes,
with Peter Sellers?
yeah.
That's it's totally different in terms of like I mean, it's not over a lifetime or anything, but it's kind of the same thing about like a very like simple-minded sort of character
Yeah, there's the
Going
world
through,
according to Garp too.
going through like I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
Is that similar? Where it's like
I mean it's not it's not like Forrest Gump,
Yeah.
but it's that kind of same idea.
I just love how you know the simple character somehow is involved in one or more extraordinary events and shit.
Well, it's a brilliant movie because it was basically like, and I don't even fault it for this, but it's like a giant Robert Zemeckis nostalgia bomb for baby boomers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's just like, here's all the things from your childhood. The choppers coming in. Here's Nixon. Here's Reagan. Here's everybody.
Well, it made itself it's like it's a big slice of Americana now because it's all
Right.
They work Elvis in, they work the Vietnam War in, and they work all these celebrities and notable figures in, and all these big major historical,
all the memes,
cultural events in the '60s
Yeah.
and the '70s, and
They tie him in with all the recognizable memes of the time. He accidentally invented the smiley face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He invented the bumper sticker that says "shit happens."
Yeah.
He invented every fucking thing. Thanks, Forrest Gump.
But it's actually kind of it wouldn't have worked if it hadn't have been so singularly well acted.
Oh no.
Like fucking Tom Hanks is just like a revelation in that part.
Oh god, yeah.
And I don't remember her name. Robin, whatever, that plays Jenny is just amazing. I mean, everybody in that film carries it.
Fields is great.
Sally Fields is wonderful.
Everyone was great.
Michael Jai White. Is it Michael Jai White?
I don't remember.
No, it's not Michael
I don't
Jai
think so.
White.
But yeah, it was. Everyone
Whatever
was
his
good.
name is, that played Bubba.
And Gary Sinise is great.
Gary Sinise. Yeah, I mean,
Fucking
everything's
Gary Sinise
memorable.
was amazing in that movie. He was
So they
fucking
managed
badass.
to make it a big movie that's also small and intimate. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
all of these characters are very deeply explored and their psyches are very deeply explored. But it's also a movie that's on this impossibly grand stage where all these people happen to be at the center of all these major events.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's just
yeah, I mean, like you're right. If you didn't have that cast playing it just right, you succumb
would-
to the incredulity.
yeah,
basically.
it would get lost.
So yeah, I mean, obviously Tom Hanks carries the movie to a large extent. So
I mean,
You gotta give it-
you
give it
have to.
massive
It's
credit.
got to be such a careful film for you to be able to get away with being heart wrenching and provocative and hilarious
yeah, and even somewhat subversive.
and subversive, yeah,
Occasionally.
and heartwarming. All these things.
Yeah,
It's
it's like it's hard to balance all the things going on.
action packed.
Yeah, it's true.
Jesus, what a movie!
It's a great movie.
What a fucking movie! Should taste like cigarettes.
Dude, Forrest Gump was so popular around here that it literally played in the theater. It used to be, you know what the movie tavern is?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
used to
yeah.
be O'Neill Theaters. And back when it was O'Neill Theaters, Forrest Gump pretty much played for like a year.
I believe it.
It did.
I mean, I think it played for close to a year in a lot of places.
It
That
was-
movie was insanely
It
popular.
was super popular. Basically, it played until it came out on VHS or
Right.
DVD or whatever they had at the time. It was VHS.
Yeah.
So once it came out on VHS, they took it out of the theater, but it was there for like a fucking solid year. And you don't even hear about a movie doing something like that anymore.
Oh, dude, another one, and it was one that I was jazzed for and ended up going and seeing, and that blew my mind. It was fucking Jurassic Park.
Oh hell yeah, Jurassic Park.
Because I'd read the Crichton novel before I went in there, and so I was just like pumped to see this because the trailer footage, they didn't reveal much. You remember the original teaser trailer that they released prior to the film being released
Yeah,
was the water, the rippling water.
yeah.
And we saw the foot, lightning flash, and the kids scared, and then we saw the eyeball. And that's all they showed for Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And so, like, walking in and getting that, like, just absolute feast for the eyes. Was like,
Yeah, that movie's incredible. That movie was so incredible that they've made like 7 bad sequels, and people are
Yeah.
still going to see them just on the strength of the original movie.
oh yeah.
You know?
And the concept too, I think, is just a brilliant one. Because like people love fucking dinosaurs, and it's like they did the Land of the Lost shit, and they've done the time traveler shit. It's like,
When I went and saw Mad Max Fury Road in the theaters, and that was only a few years back, I was like, wow, that's the best movie I've seen in a decade or some shit. It's fucking...
yeah, that movie was like a fucking symphony, man.
I was like, Jesus, I mean, like, it's gotta be, like, this is the new benchmark for an action movie for me.
Yeah.
Like, there's not, this is what you now have to beat. And prior to that, I don't know what the best action movie would have been. Maybe like, maybe The Matrix. I don't know.
Yeah. The Matrix. I'm trying to think of other movies that I
Terminator
walked
2 was
out
up
just
there
like
for
stunned.
sure. I didn't see Terminator 2 in theaters, unfortunately, though. I was a little too young.
Yeah. I don't know. Seeing what was that? A Quiet Place in theaters. I don't know that it was mind blowing, but it was a cool experience seeing that one with a full audience of people.
Yeah, I saw that on video on demand, so it's not the same. But yeah, I could definitely see that.
I'd never been in a more quiet theater than that, dude. It was packed to the fucking gills, just a few sporadic seats without asses in them, you know? And during the quiet parts of that movie, you could have heard a fucking pin drop in that theater. People were holding their breath.
Yeah, because, I mean, well, the movie...
You gotta appreciate a movie.
The movie is pretty brilliant in the way that it uses...
It forces your rapt attention.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing, because like movies are so like, there was nobody in that theater on their phone, you know, like there wasn't a murmur, there wasn't a kid squealing or anything, you know. It was just like I said, you could have heard a pin, you could have cut the tension with a fucking knife in that theater.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you gotta appreciate a movie that can just hold people's fucking attention like that.
Yep.
I guess going to, yeah, you know what, dude, Lord of the Rings, I'm going to go ahead and say, and I know you fucking hate it, the first one especially, I mean, the Fellowship, dude, I was such a nerd for that fucking trilogy.
I'll never get
And I remember walking out of seeing some horribly, I think it was, I can't remember what it was some horribly disappointing movie. I was walking out of the movie, I was in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I walked right by a poster, and it was that teaser poster with Elijah Woods with the ring in his hand, you know, looking all hollow, and one ring to rule them all. It didn't even say Lord of the Rings, and I was like, because I hadn't heard,
Yeah.
and that's how I found out. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And going to see that movie, dude, I cried. I'm not gonna fucking lie to you, dude. I cried in the theater.
So did I.
I wept like a fucking, yeah, I'm sure you did, TJ. From nausea. Why do you hate that movie so much? Is it just because Scotty dragged you to it so many times?
I mean, the first time I saw it, I'm like, well, that was mediocre as fuck. And then Scotty dragged me to it like 6 more times, which just cemented my seething hatred of that movie.
See, that's the problem. You've never read Lord of the Rings, right?
No.
See, that's the problem, man. I think that's the problem. I think that people that haven't read Lord... Well, no, that's not true, because tons of people that...
Tons of people have loved the movie that have never read the book, so...
But I can see that you would probably like the movie way more if you'd read the fucking books.
Maybe.
Because they're written in a quaint way, and the characters are portrayed very well and cast very well in the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And certain scenes that are like cemented in people's brains, like the bridge of Khazad-dûm and the siege of Minas Tirith and the fucking assault on the walls of fucking what was it, Hammer, whatever the fuck, you know, all that shit was like done so well. You could tell that Peter Jackson just loved every fucking word in those books.
Mm-hmm.
But see, you've never read the books, CJ.
Two Towers is alright, though.
I mean, they're all brilliant.
Yeah.
They're all fucking brilliant,
Two
TJ.
Towers is alright.
I'll give you that much.
They're all brilliant.
First one was ass. Second one was alright. Third one was ass again. Oh, the third one was fucking terrible. Oh, that was one of the worst movie-going experiences I've ever had. Ugh.
The third one?
Oh god, yeah, it was just like dragged on. And
I
on
cried.
And on and on.
I cried again
Dude,
during the third one,
I had the
TJ.
opposite. The entire theater agreed with me too, because when it was like the end of the movie and you kept thinking like, okay, that's the end, and then it'd be like, here's another scene. It's like, oh, okay, all right, well that's the end. But like by like the time they get to like the 10th ending, the entire theater was just like, ugh. I'm like, yeah, I feel you guys.
Whatever. It may linger a little too long, but there are some fucking great scenes in that movie, dude. The last ride of the Rohirrim.
Yeah, so.
The fucking battle outside the gates of Minas Tirith.
Yeah.
I love the. I just love that fucking whole story, dude. It's just great. It's just great. I would say that the Two Towers is probably the least memorable of them for me, if not for the Shelob or whatever her name is.
The Two Towers is the only good one because it has that fucking awesome battle at the end. It's one of the best battle scenes ever put to film, and that pretty much that's the only thing that's good. Because that's what I remember when I think of the Two Towers, is that big battle. What was it? Helm's Deep or something?
Yeah. The Battle of Helm's Deep.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was the best fucking. That's one of the best cinematic battles I've ever seen. And I don't know why they.
I love that shit, dude.
They could never pull it off again, though. There's nothing like that in any other.
Dude, Return of the King has got fucking awesome battles in it. What are you talking about?
The battle sucked.
What?
Those were garbage.
Which ones?
I don't know. I don't remember it.
Dude, all the battles are cool. The battle outside the gates of Minas Tirith,
No, it's
the
just a
battle
bunch of
against the fucking invaders.
Because all the other battles are just people clashing against each other. There's no siege shit.
Yeah, there
There's
is.
no actual strategy.
Minas
or anything.
Tirith is under siege.
Yeah, well, it's,
They're firing. They fire bodies over the fucking walls and shit. They're under siege for days with Gandalf in there trying to help them strategize and shit. And then finally they bring this giant ram up to the gate and bust their way in with a bunch of trolls and shit. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Low T?
Hey.
You got low T, TJ? Are we just gonna have to start calling you Jay?
Whatever, dude. That movie sucked.
Jesus, man.
90% of those movies is just people fucking whispering at each other or walking.
Yeah, you gotta watch the director's cut with me one of these days, TJ.
Oh God, no.
You got to.
No.
Dude, it's better. It adds fucking a bunch of shit.
That makes it worse. It's already too long.
Dude, we're just gonna do it for a cinema for cynics, dude. We're gonna force you to watch the whole trilogy.
Yeah.
Fellowship was a classic. The only thing that's disappointing about Fellowship to me is that they skipped over one of my favorite fucking characters. They wrote him out, Tom Bombadil, dude. He is actually an idol of mine. Tom Bombadil, Tom Bombadillo. Dude, just an old fucking crazy hermit that lives out in the woods. That has power to talk to the animals and shit. And he's like a fairy wizard or some shit. Secretly. Tom Bombadil, man. Fuck you. Tom Bombadil's the best. You suck a dick. Bilbo, Bilbo, Bilbo Baggins, only 3 feet tall. He's Bilbo, Bilbo Baggins, bravest little hobbit of them all.
Wasn't that
Leonard Nimoy, yeah.
the Star Trek guy?
Yeah. He lives all alone in the hobbity hole.
What the fuck? Why did that exist?
Goes with the dwarves to steal the dragon's gold. He's Bilbo, Bilbo, Bilbo Baggins.
Well, I'm down with it.
The Hobbit was... I read The Hobbit before The Lord of the Rings, and that book
I actually
is...
have read The Hobbit.
That book is magic, man. I don't know how... You read The Hobbit... Did you like The Hobbit?
The book?
Yeah, the book.
Yeah, it was alright.
So you read The Hobbit,
Yeah.
liked the book,
Yes.
didn't read The Lord of the Rings.
No.
You've got a fucking... You got like shelves of books in there, you charlatan.
Yeah.
Never read The Lord of the Rings.
Whatever.
Do you just not like fantasy?
Oh no, I like fantasy.
What the fuck is wrong? Why don't you read the Lord of the Rings then?
Eh,
Eh,
eh.
eh.
I don't know. I'm more of like a Conan the Barbarian kind of fantasy guy. I don't know. I like my fantasy a little cheesier, I guess, with more tits.
Game of
Yeah, throw some
Thrones.
titties in Lord of the Rings. Be pretty good.
There's no like overt, really sexuality in Lord of the Rings.
Maybe that's why I don't like it. Because I feel like that's an important element to a fantasy.
I mean, there's a little bit of a love story
I'd rather
with
watch Deathstalker.
Aragorn and Arwen, but
Deathstalker or Deathstalker 2.
yeah, there's no overt sexuality in it.
You need some big old titties flopping around.
Love you, Paul. Give some love to TJ, despite how wrong he is. I give mad, silly,
Frodo needs-
stupid, silly, fresh, dope props to
Frodo
TJ.
needs to suck on a big old pair of titties. It'll fix the whole movie.
What if he actually just finally broke down and fucked Sam? Would you have liked it more?
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the point in building up all the sexual tension between the two of them if it's never going to get released in any meaningful way?
Yeah, I always thought that, like, and it's not really borne out in any of his literature or talking about it, but I always thought that he put, because it's like that in the book too. They're very like beyond brothers, you know what I mean? There's nothing sexual about it, but it's just like,
well, in the movie,
I would die for you, Frodo.
he came across as pretty sexual.
I would die for you, Sam.
Those hobbits needed to fuck. They needed
Those
to fuck.
hobbits needed to fuck.
Yeah.
I'll share the load.
No, you will.
There's talk of orcs crossbreeding with men to make Uruk-hai, so it has implied rape.
Cool.
No.
Yeah, wasn't that Saruman?
Saruman made the Uruk-hai by taking, whatever. He might have taken, like, I don't think anybody was raped, you idiot.
They should have been. That would be better.
No, he grew them in pods and shit. So it was like he took a human and mixed it with orc and cloned it or whatever the fuck in the basement at wherever his tower was called. Escapes me now. He bred orcs with goblin men.
Christopher Lee-
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what I
One of those
remember.
actors that doesn't even need to be good to be good. Just because he has that fucking booming authoritative voice, or he did. I guess he's dead now, but...
Yeah, they come from fucking eggs, man. There ain't no rape. They're grown like on a vine or some shit. I read the Silmarillion, but it was a long fucking time ago, man. I didn't enjoy it anywhere near as much as I've enjoyed his other stuff, but so I don't know. I didn't commit a whole lot of the Silmarillion to memory, but I have read it.
We ain't read shit.
They were elves once. He even said it. Okay, so yeah. I don't know, man. I'm confused. But anyway, whatever he did, he crossbred them, or genetically, and grew them in pods. There's no rape.
That was full of rape.
Plus, those elvish bitches, one or two of them want to get fucked by an orc. So maybe that's how it happened. Maybe that's how the first Uruk-hai was born. One of these wood elves was tired of these wispy, faggoty dudes that was swinging around on trees and stuff.
You go orc, you never go bork.
Yeah. Once you go orc, you never go bork. Oh, TJ. Yeah, dude. Some of those fucking wood elf chicks were swinging out of the trees and heading up into the hills to find that orc tribe at night, using their stealth powers to sneak into the village to visit Ugluk, the hottest orc they ever saw. You know what was happening. And likewise, some of those fey wispy dudes living in the fucking trees in wood elf land in Lothlorien probably were doing the same for the orc females, you know what I mean?
Tired of fucking this
And the orc
elvish
males. There were probably like some of those little wood elf dudes that were going over there to get butt fucked.
Maybe it's the inverse of what you expected.
Slay some orc puss, dude. That's how Uruk-hai happened. There was no rape. Just, there's that mountain that's right there on the border of Lothlorien, Orcs be passing through there all the time. Them hot bitches be watching to make sure they don't come in, and they're eyeballing them fucking orcs as they're walking by. They're like, ooh, god damn, that one is rippling with muscles. And then she hears one of them say like, Ugluk, come here. She's like, Ugluk. She dreams about Ugluk. She stalks that whole tribe and finds out where they make camp, Sneaks into Ugluk's tent one night and unzips the fucking leather breeches and starts to blow him. He wakes up, he's like, Elf, what are you? She's like, just be quiet, Ugluk. Shh. Am I writing a piece of erotic fan fiction right now? Cool. I'm just trying to explain the Uruk-hai, dude.
Porked by an orc, an erotic fan fiction by Paul Party.
You are Ugluk, right? Oh, yes. I saw you from the border of Lothlorien. As you walked by. What are you doing, elf? Do your women not do this? Oh my goodness. Oh! Someone will jack off to this. That's so gross. Oh, Ugluk. Ugluk and Brithlandel, dude. That's the name. That's the name of my fan fiction. It's called Ugluk and Brithlandel. A mating. DFF host by night, an erotic novelist by day. Dude, yeah, I missed my calling, man. I write these fanfics. Maybe I should call it The Birth of the Uruk-hai or some shit. Try and get it made canon. Uglandel.